NIS2 directive, well, it began as NIS1, which was introduced in 2016. This was the first piece of cybersecurity legislation introduced by the EU. NIS2 is the second stage of that legislation. So it's an EU directive that's being introduced to law on the 18th of October this year. So within the legislation, it puts the requirement on senior management to be responsible for cybersecurity. It also includes penalties, both personal for the senior managers, but also financial for the companies. The other things it does is reduces the time for reporting major incidents to the national bodies. So this has come down from 72 hours in NIS1 to 24 hours in NIS2. There's also areas like cyber hygiene, training of staff, cyber risk, vulnerability management. And I think one of the key areas that really will impact businesses is it has introduced security in the supply chain. So it's no longer good enough to look after the security within the four walls of your business. You now need to look at your supply chain and ensure that the right security measures are in place there as well. The most important things that companies need to do to ensure that they're cyber resilient. The first one is to know the assets you have in your business, know what's important to your business, and ensure that you secure them to that level of importance. Some of the best things you can do as a leader in business these days is actually talk about cybersecurity events that are happening within your business and also external to the business. So talking about, phishing emails that you've received, it just helps spread the word within the company, but it also spreads the word that it's okay to report these things, it's okay to highlight these things. Also make it easy for your staff to report these things. It's really important that you have a strong risk management in place, looking at not only your operational and people risk, but also your cybersecurity risks as well. And these, with the introduction of NIS2, need to include those risks within the supply chain. There's three main threats that I would look at. So the first one is phishing. It's probably one of the oldest tricks in the book for cybersecurity criminals. For them, I suppose it's a low risk, high reward attack. For companies and defenders, it's pretty hard to defend against, and also for the end users, it's sometimes too easy to actually click on the links and kind of be tricked by the attack. Second one is ransomware. Cyber criminals are still extorting assets and data from company, encrypting them, and looking for ransom. So we've seen numerous instances of this recently across the industry, and what we're seeing now is double and triple extortion, that they're using different techniques to get a payload from the exact same attack. The third one then for me is supply chain attacks. So these again are becoming more and more prevalent in the industry. What we're seeing is trusted suppliers being attacked, and when the attacker uses an attack in the supply chain, they actually can hit numerous companies with a single attack. It's often harder to defend against, and they get a bigger payload again for their effort. In BT, I'm lucky enough to have 3,000 cybersecurity experts within the company that I can work with on a daily basis to help secure the company and our customers. But not every company is as lucky as that. So what we need to do is make sure that you've partnered with the right partners, and also that you're connecting with the industry. So there's loads of industry forums out there. There's loads of help that you can get to make sure that you're cyber resilient.